All right. Greetings, friends. Stardate, Monday, August 29th. It's Chapo coming at you. Before we start the show today, I thought I would plug at the beginning of the show because I fear some of you are not getting plugged up enough. Beginning with our fall tour. Just got to remind everybody, I'm going to run it down here. Cities, dates, locations. October 1st, we are going to be in Chicago, Illinois at the Vic Theater. October 8th, we will be in Los Angeles, California at the Theater at the Ace Hotel. October 14th, we will be in New York City at Town Hall Theater. And on October 30th, we'll be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Revolution. These are the biggest venues we have ever booked. So we're relying on you, the Chapo faithful, to come through and, see Chapo live. There are going to be musical acts and special surprise guests at each of these dates. So please, once again, reminder, come out, check out us live. Tickets available at chapotraphouse.com/live.
Will DB Cooper show up and reveal himself? Perhaps.
Yes. If we don't sell these shows out, I will have a Michael Richards incident. If we do sell these shows out, I will have a Michael Richards incident. If we sell out some of them, I will have a Michael Richards incident.
There you go,
I will be debuting a new character that's a combination of Louis C.K. and Dane Cook.
There you go, folks. You have your marching orders, chapotraphouse.com/live. But wait, there's more. That's right. If you go to chapotraphouse.shop, you can check out our latest merchandise drop featuring, of course, the much sought after Zapata offshore oil hats. We've got a bunch of stuff. We've got Zapata t-shirts and hoodies. We've got Carousel Club. We've got anti-ADHD federal task force windbreakers. A lot of cool shit at our merch drop. So please, everyone who asks us for merchandise, you got to come see our live show. Got to buy the merch. That's
you got to do it. I'm afraid you're required. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Did you? Okay. Market research shows that a lot of you were removed from a C-section type situation at birth. And they used a now recalled type of sort of barbecue tongs, and it greatly affected the shape and size of your head. It was sort of a peanut shape, or even worse yet, a cashew shape. The soft spot was forever molded. You can no longer grow your hair. You can no longer get like sort of a Prince Valiant cut to hide this because you're now in your 30s. But what better way to hide it than a Zapata offshore hat? Oh, what's that? We're almost sold out of that. Well, for the first time ever, we have a second hat. That's right, with the Air America hat. You can finally convince people you are a drug dealer instead of just a drug buyer.
There you go. And hey, I'd just like to underscore again, everything in our merchandise store is USA Union printed. So, if you don't buy enough of them, we will, like Felix said, we will be offshoring all our merchandise printing to countries that have no government.
Yeah. Do you remember when Tom DeLay had a factory in one of those countries that 20,000 U.S. Marines died one day in 1943 fighting against the Japanese army. And now it hasn't had a government since then. America was like, okay, you're going to be a state, but worse. It's illegal to pay anyone who lives here more than 17 cents an hour to make linen bed sheets for Tom DeLay. Well, we'll fucking move to that. This will be the last line we ever make. Let's put it this way. This is the last time we'll ever make by factory employees who can afford to have electricity as a result of their employment. If you don't show up,
their lives are in your hands, dude.
Yeah. Do you want to be the hot girl from Fast and the Furious who makes Ludacris and his friends race?
Yes.
By putting, that's what you're doing in the global race to the bottom in wages if you don't buy these.
Oh, but if you buy the Zapata offshore hat, you could still be the hot girl from Fast and Furious that starts the race. You could be wearing it, you'll have some sort of cut off jean shorts, and you'll be actually dropping one of our Zapata oil t-shirts or Carousel Club hoodies to start the drag race.
You could even be the low IQ, possibly to the point of being categorized in, let's just say he could not be executed. The main protagonist from Fast and the Furious 2, the one that takes place in Japan. You could be
Fast
him.
and Furious 3. That's Fast and Furious 3. Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift. Oh, yeah, I guess because it was too Fast, too Furious than Tokyo Drift. Okay, well, that's actually the only one I've seen, believe it or not.
That's the best one. It's the best one.
Yeah, it is cool that it's his family is like, you have to go to Japan because of how pissed you are.
You have to go to you got in trouble here in America doing car racing, and they're like, enough of this. It's time to shape up. We're sending you to military school in Japan.
Yeah, you're gonna go study with this amazing church we found. It's founded by a Korean man. You're so pissed.
Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift, good. But hey, let's start the show with pop culture gripes, things that are bad. Boys, this new Gambo, PU. Oh, throw this one. This one in the trash.
My question is, where's the Gambo? Who's Gambo? I have no idea who Gambo is supposed to be in the show. It's definitely the annoying girl, the ugliest man in human history. I don't know who the fuck Gambo is.
Right now, I'm look, Gambo has not been established yet, but like, if there is a Gambo on the show, I'm thinking it's like the black dude with white dreadlocks.
He seems pretty Gambo-y.
The sea snake, he's got a cool name. In fact, he's the only character whose name I remember. I don't know the names of anyone on this show. I don't know who they are. I don't fucking care. Just an hour of like, it is a king's duty to take a wife. Marry I must. It's like, oh God, it's just a daughter and her dad just being like, are you going to remarry after mom died? And he's just like, but I still love you. Get this shit out of here. Bring back Rome.
It sounds like an unfunny Alexander Payne movie.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I will say that the one thing I do enjoy is Paddy Considine as the king Viserys, who they really well portray as just a total dork who doesn't know what he's doing. And one of the crowning touches of that is that he has built for him, because he's the king, he's not building anything. He has built for him little models of King's Landing and Old Valeria that he just kind of stands around and fusses over. I like that.
Alexander Payne's The Royal Descendants.
Yeah, no, it is. It looks brutal. I have not watched it. I've been, well, as you guys know, I've actually bought a projector. And
yes.
I've watched a couple movies on it. Mostly, let's be honest, okay, I've mostly watched YouTube documentaries, that are like the biggest sexual predator in the Minecraft community. The type of thing I usually watch. But I have watched quite a few movies and TV shows.
All right, lay some movies down, Felix. What do you watch?
Okay, I watched Vice 2 nights ago. I watched The Seventh Continent, actually. Okay. I'm realizing I have to buy a DVD player because, digital media is fucked up. I did a rewatch of Field in England. I have blackout shades coming soon, so I can use this more during the day. But I've not watched this because it seems like a show that it would be like a running gag in a later season of 30 Rock. That like Tracy Morgan would be in the show. That he made his own fantasy show. It looks really shit.
I need to address something because I don't know if you just dropped it and just kept going, but Felix, you are constantly surprising me with your pop culture fixations, and chief among them right now, I could never have guessed this in a million years, is Michael Haneke. It
makes sense. I feel like Knausgaard is the gateway to Haneke.
Okay, I know, and I thought about it for a second, and it makes sense to me too. Okay, The Seventh Continent is a movie that depressed me for longer than any other movie I've ever seen after watching it. Spoiler alert, it's based on a true story of an Austrian family who locks themselves inside their house and then kills themselves. But I see, Felix, it makes sense that you would find an interest in Austrian French filmmaker Michael Haneke because you're not a movie head. Like, the thing is, yes, he is a very artistic, high-level director, but he makes movies for people who hate movies. He makes movies to punish his audience. And I think as someone who doesn't like movies, I think that's why you like it. Dude, you watch Benny's video. In a billion years, I could not have fucking come up with that. That would be on your radar.
It's a great movie.
Because it's a movie that's like all of his movies telling you shouldn't be watching a movie right now.
Yes.
And Felix is like, you're right, I shouldn't. Whereas guys like me and Will... Yeah. We're like, no, movie magic, please shut up. Stop reminding me that this is bad. Why are you doing this?
I do. There are movies I love, and I will. Okay, I'm going to watch Con Air and Last Boy Scout next time I have company.
Yes.
Okay, now we're talking.
But
that's like cinema.
I do. I've been enjoying movies way more than like I ever have. partly due to technological reasons, partly due to me maturing as a man. But I like Haneke. I don't. Okay, maybe a little bit. I like his messages that movies are bad, but it's more like. I mean, I like that type of artist. Like I like Nausgaard, I like Haneke. I love Herzog. I mean, everyone loves him. But I like sort of Northern European dour moralists. There's something like fun about that to me. I don't know why, because I think because it's like most American. So after watching Veep, I've been developing this comprehensive theory about American TV and movies, that there's like a certain level of Americanness in it you need if it's going to keep running. Americans are supernaturally optimistic and stupid, but sometimes that's what makes us able to make like the best possible TV. Yeah. You know, the baseline of British TV is higher, but we're able to achieve higher heights because we just put like a little bit, the right amount of shittiness into something that they're incapable of doing.
You need a little bit of manure in there.
Yeah, exactly. How else are the trees going to grow, or is the bomb going to go off? But I do like, it's a refreshing change of pace when something is just completely like depressing and the moral. It's not quite like Ulster Protestantism where it's like everyone's bad except me and maybe you for watching this. It's German moralism where it's just like everyone's bad.
And it treats you like an adult. It doesn't have to dandle you on its knee the way that American film has to. Because like, oh, is he getting fussy? Oh, no. Oh, we can't have that. They give you a little pacifier at the end. I predict when you run through Haneke, I predict at some point a Bergman moment for Felix.
Oh, wow.
You're going to get into Bergman at some point. I can foresee it already.
I just don't like how, I mean, those, I've never seen any of those, right?
Yeah, what don't you like about Bergman?
Well, I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like they're practically silent movies, which like, don't you agree that's a little bit of a problem? Like that, like I'm sure they're not, but it's like, okay, when you watch a movie, much of those movies seem like they do not have audible dialogue or sounds. There's no slide whistle indicating something funny happened. And that makes it, okay, wouldn't you agree that makes it difficult to do the thing that we all love doing during movies? Kind of the reason we watch movies. You want to be doing stuff like reading the Wikipedia article for Frank Lautenberg while the movie's playing. We all do it. We all love doing it.
Felix, I got some.
You know what? I thought the same way about Bergman, and then I watched The Seventh Seal, and it's very surprisingly lively. I got to tell you, it's a great entryway.
Yeah, you start with your
you'll want to watch more stuff.
Start with your Seventh Seal, then throw on The Hour of the Wolf. It's only 90 minutes long. You'll be laughing. Good times had by all. But then next up on your projector movie marathon, have you seen Haneke's Code Unknown?
No, I haven't.
Code Unknown. It is a movie assembled of 42 single takes. There are only 42 edits in the movie. And man, oh man, if you'd like to feel uncomfortable and bad about yourself, watch that movie. And then Cachet. And if you watch
I love that one.
Back, are you like, have you seen Cachet?
I love that one. Yeah. That one's fucking awesome.
I assume you've seen Funny Games, Felix.
I have that one. So I watched the first, like the 2007 one rather, like a while ago. And obviously, like, I didn't take to it super well. I watched it like pretty soon after it came out. It's pretty young, and I've like never really liked horror movies. And I think I had like a stupid criticism of it. I was like, "What was the point?" You know, I thought
that you shouldn't be watching this, and you're a bad person. That's the point.
I was too young to get that. I really thought I was a budding movie. I thought I was like a very smart media intaker, and I was more so than my friends because I watched The Sopranos, and I was like, "No, they're all bad." Like the point is that. But that's like anyone can figure that out. I thought I was way smarter than I actually was for figuring that out. So, you know, when it came to time to see Funny Games, and my horror friends were like, "This is great because they're experiencing bad stuff," and I was like, "What's the point?" And I didn't get that the point was I'm the bad thing. Yeah. Movies are bad. I was too young, so I think that's due for a rewatch.
Yeah, you should watch the American remake because to me that's the apotheosis of his career because he's been making these movies in French and German, you know, scolding the movie-going audience. But, you know, the European movie-going audience isn't really who he's talking about because they don't make the market. The American movie-going audience makes the market. And so all these movies are really about America, but he can't actually address them because they don't read fucking subtitles. So Americans finally give him money to do something in English, and he just does a shot-for-shot remake of his movie telling you that you should not watch violence on cinema, and it's bad to do it, and it makes you bad if you do it.
Yeah, he's the best person alive.
One more, Felix. Have you seen The Piano Teacher?
I've not seen that one.
Okay, that's again, extremely nasty movie. It will make you feel
nasty.
very, very. It's very
Isabella Huppert, very nasty lady.
I'm gonna start just as a little joke, Felix. I'm gonna just start sending you videos of your house. You know, just this little clips. But like, you know, I'm gonna just text them to you, just outside your house, maybe inside your house, maybe while you're asleep.
That's what my life is already like.
And no, but then you'll investigate it, and it's just like, okay, who's doing this to me? It's the son of a guy you worked as a bouncer with in Minneapolis. And you failed to have his back during a bar fight, and it's destroyed his life, and you're going to track him down, and then he's going to just top himself in front of you.
Well, that's the thing is, like, with Cash, I was like, that is similar to my life because I do get a lot of disturbing DMs, where it's like, oh, you're spying on me. You made my mom have leukemia. You record me at my job. And then like something even like, I get a lot of targeted individuals, but then they'll make it worse by being like, also, can you be on my podcast? Like they're combining like two types of annoying people now. So that movie's similar to me, but I have to say, unlike in Cash, if someone did kill themselves in front of me, I'm such a self-obsessed, I'm the perfect Haneke protagonist. If he ever makes a movie about me, I'm such a self-obsessed person that if they did that, I would immediately be like, when is my Bloomingdale's order going to get here? When am I getting my new belt? I'm excited to get that. And then like whoever, whatever, if a romantic partner was there with me and that she'd be like, what do you want to talk about? What happened? I'd be like, what? Oh, right. We made a new friend today. Right. Do you, if I order food, would you want some? There's a soft serve place 20 minutes away, they say.
Here we go. Hanukkah, if you're out there listening, and I know he must be a fan of the show.
Yes.
American remake of Cache starring Felix Peterman, and it's about a father and a son tormenting a popular content producer to get on for him to come on their podcast, or they'll kill themselves.
Yeah, no, and that's already my life. Mr. Haneke, I would love to give you the worst interview of your career, where I ask you questions like, who's the hottest chick you've ever bagged? And if you could go to any...
Swish!
Woo! If you could go to any Super Bowl, which one would it be? I love upsetting women who I'm romantically linked with by playing your movies in front of them. They're always like, can we watch the Ace Family? That's, by the way, you may not know this. They're a horrible family on YouTube. I love them also.
Felix, you're showing Hanukkah movies to dates?
No, not yet. No, I've learned my lesson. I learned my lesson. I made a lot of bung ups in movies that I've shown women. One time this woman was like, someone was dating, was like, why don't you put something on? And I put on Casino and just watched all of it. I couldn't stop myself. I really like that movie.
You could do worse. The first date I took Catherine on, I took her to a documentary about the Mongolian coal mining industry.
I always think about that. That is such a Seinfeld B plot. It's so good.
She comes out of the theater and you're following her, going, "I see couples coming here all the time. This is I think this is normal."
It would have been better if I just took her to a porn movie.
I think in retrospect, it was a great move because it shows how strong the connection was.
Yeah.
If
seriously. Good early test.
Yeah. If it wasn't meant to be, that would be the end, right?
Yeah.
I think the next movie I took her to was the Crumb documentary about Robert Crumb. And I was like, okay, I know the Chinese the Mongolian coal mining movie. Okay. That's one thing. Watch this movie for a preview of the future. It's like looking into a crystal ball.
I mean, that was a very honest movie for you to take her to. It really was.
Yeah, cards on the table.
Yeah.
Yep. And, we're still going strong. So must have done something right. Okay.
Yeah.
Boys, let's get into the news. Okay, first question for the panel. What cocktail of drugs is Joe Biden on? Tony Blankley, go.
Felix has a theory. I'll let him go first because it seems like he's really studied it.
So I think that previously they did something very democratic. They got too clever by half, and they're like, oh, Dexies are a pro-drug. They last 14 hours in your system. So we're going to start them off with Roxys, and then when those wear off, we're going to take Dexies. And it too many moving parts, right? And that's why you got him sometimes in the morning, he'd be normal, but then by the end of the day, he would try to shake hands with a ghost and then like kiss a teleprompter. And now I think like Ron Klein or someone like one of the more capable people in there, right, was like, hey, dummies, back to basics. Percocet and Monster Rehab. Because you don't get too cracked out on Monster Rehab, but it's enough so you don't nod out on the pills. And that is why he not only sounds as good as he did in 2018, which was his last pre-senility, pre-dementia period. He looked great at that rally where it's like, why don't you wait and see or something weird he said.
Just you wait.
Didn't he look like good?
And it's not hyperbole. The very survival of our planet is on the ballot. Your right to vote is on the ballot. Even the democracy. Are you ready to fight for these things now?
He looked sharp. His eyes were all the way open, which he hasn't been for a while. They've been
Sleepy Joe.
drifting down Sleepy Joe. They were popped out. And so, yeah, there definitely feels like he's on something. If it's new or not, I don't know. I think it's notable that this is happening after his, quote, bout with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's highly likely that he never fucking had COVID and that they put him on ice so that he could recover because, when they give him these cocktails, it has a limited, you can only put him on it for so long before it starts having diminishing returns and his body just can't handle the strain anymore. And then if you leave him in public, he gets progressively worse until you pull him. And they've done that several times already where they just pull him off the stage and then you don't see him for 2 or 3 weeks. And then he comes back. Maybe there's no new cocktail. Maybe it's just he's had a chance, to get it out of his system and come at it again. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I assumed that the COVID thing was bullshit because he got another facelift. And I think there's a little bit of that going on here, too. But, I mean, it's a very Democrat thing, though, because, like, we're a couple months out from the midterm elections, and that's when they give him the compound V. That's when, and, like, and, he
that's
shows up.
By the way, that is why I predict that maybe after next week, you don't see him for the rest of September.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, like, bring him out like all jacked up, like October for the sell. But I think they can't run him at this RPM to election day. There has to be at least one more down cycle for him to recover, or he's going to explode.
Well, do you think that maybe it's a little like obviously we all know they're loading him up with shit, but do you think that like okay maybe it's the combination of drugs, but for the first time in the administration, because you remember for the first 6 months, super bump, like 60-70%. People were like, holy shit, I can turn off alerts on my Apple
normal
News.
President.
Yeah.
This actually is soothing and nice.
Yeah. And then, the wheels started to fall off. It could be that he feels reinvigorated by notching some dubs.
I mean, yeah, it's the chicken and the egg thing. Who knows? Like maybe he was just feeling the same thing everyone watching him was feeling, just this despair and sense of driftlessness and hopelessness. And then, he catches a wind, and that's all it really is. You can't say he's doing anything. He's just floating in the breeze, and he catches an updraft, and it gives him sort of a native spark in addition to whatever fucking drugs they have him on. Because, yeah, his approval rating I last saw now is back to where it was before the invasion of Ukraine and fucking like the gas price spike and the big jump in inflation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like, it's the Democrat thing because look, he's in campaign mode now, and he's coming out and he's showing a little bit of piss and vinegar, and people are going, "Oh, Dark Brandon, he's the prince who was promised," and like I just are people getting too blown away by essentially what is just a president campaigning for his party and doing the absolute bare minimum? I mean, I know the student debt relief thing, people are happy about that, but it's just like. Are people being a little too, eager to believe, and just and be like, okay, hey, maybe he's not so bad, but like he just wants you to vote for his same shitty party.
But here's the thing, at the end of the day, everybody has to post, right?
Yes.
Everybody has to post. Everybody has to have an opinion. You have to react to things. And if you aren't fully on board with the let's go Brandon, the unironic let's go Brandon agenda, like the whole cultural and political project of right opposition to Biden, what are you supposed to post? How are you supposed to react to this guy? How are you supposed to relate to this figure who for a long time just looked like this fucking corpse floating in the fucking reflecting pond? And now there's stuff that you like. A lot of people, they actually did get some of this benefit. Like student loan relief is something that tangibly benefited people. The way that the government was tangibly benefiting people with COVID bucks at the beginning of his term. And it's creating this new sense of like, oh, my personal situation isn't quite as hopeless. And that maps onto this greater political thing that you hate and is bad. But at the same time, you also don't want to end up materially in some way shoring up what you think is a worse alternative. And so you have to be happy about it, but you have to have some sort of ironic cover for your happiness. And that's where the whole the dark Brandon thing comes in.
Right. I think, okay, the dark Brandon thing, when I see like Democratic senators and people who've only ever been consultants post about it, it reminds me of Stevie Janowski trying to act like Kenny Powers, right?
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get from it.
Change yourself for me.
Yeah. It's an open-ended trip, my beep. But, so what did Stevie Janowski end up doing? He ended up making 4 kids. He ended up having sex. He ended up doing cocaine. It is all about self-belief. And even if it's, you don't quite believe, let's say, Brian Schatz when he's like, oh, I've invented the new Democratic groiper. It's a new frog. What matters is that they themselves are having fun. And okay, is Biden actually doing anything? Look, probably not. Everyone up until a few months ago talked about the 10K, 20K of Pell Grant thing like it was woefully insufficient.
Right.
It is. Yet, it's people can connect it to something in their lives more than they can with a bungler care. What do you want me to say? And look, is Biden actually is he actually like, oh, I learned how to be president. I let Bartlett be Bartlett. I let Joe be Joe. No, I mean, what really happened is the thing that we said in March, right? That you always, it's really more the Republican side. With social issues, you always have to up the ante. You have to up the ante quicker than ever, just because of the speed of news cycles and everything. They immediately accelerated a 3-year timeline, pissed everyone off, overreached. Everyone's mad at them.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen till like the middle of like Trump or DeSantis's term. That backlash is, you got to get in power first before you let that get to that point. But now you can't even benefit from a perfect environment for a backlash election because you're making everybody realize how non-normal you are.
Yeah. I gotta say, I mean, there is something pleasing and pleasant about the idea of the Republicans eating shit and what everyone assumed was going to be a layup midterms for them because of their kill women agenda. And I mean, it would be good to know that that there are still some consequences for doing shit like that. And particularly, just on a personal note, I would like to see the privatized Social Security populists of the Peter Thiel variety eat shit to an astronaut and a really terrible Democrat. But I don't know. I mean, I on one note on Brandon, I did find recently his comments about which Republican members of Congress have taken PPP loans to be the first time in a long time that his doddering dopiness actually worked to his benefit. Like when referencing Marjorie Taylor Greene, he was just like, made note of the fact that the hundreds of thousands of dollars in fucking PPP loans, and he was like, the woman who believes in the anyway.
And I found it absolutely fascinating that some of the folks who were talking about this is big spending are the same people that got $158,000 in PPP money, including what's her name? That woman who believes in anyway. A whole lot of Republicans.
He just trails off, but like in that case, it was a good dig at her because he was like, I don't even need to say her name. We all know she's a joke. The woman who believes in anyway, because it's just like not even worth going into.
Yeah. No, who would have guessed, that the Biden presidency would fulfill most left liberals' West Wing fantasies? You never would have guessed. You just, you can't predict the future unless you're us.
It's true.
We're the only ones. But who knows how much it will last? Keep in mind, this is a guy who has not just been on the wrong end, but has been kind of the goat herder for most of the bad decisions the last 40 years. You don't stop being who you are overnight, even if you literally forget who you are. But I don't know. I do think just in the immediate future, I stand by my prediction of it not being a blowout in the midterms. I think everyone is with me now. I did say it first, but have you noticed that people are already leaking against Rick Scott? People on the Republican side.
I haven't noticed that. What's going on?
People on the Republican side are already being like, oh, he's going on fucking vacation to Italy because he knows we're going to lose and he's going to get fired after this as the head of the NRSCC. Like, it's, if they, let's say, outside chance, this is unlikely, but stranger things have happened. Let's say they actually don't gain any seats in the House. What the fuck happens to that party then? They rip each other apart, right? Their one conceivable leader is like, no one quite knows if he's going to be able to run because, it actually seems like the deep state finally has they don't have to go, let's give a Medal of Honor to the guy who listened to his phone call. Everyone dress up like Lev Parnas at work today to raise awareness of Lev Parnas. Michael Flynn talked to a Muslim on the phone.
Everyone go to, even if you're not Lev Parnas, you can go to the Lev Parnas bathroom to show your solidarity with Lev Parnas.
Yeah. Everyone go to McDonald's and order the Lev Parnas burger today. The look on the cashier's face will be epic. They finally, they got something. They got something that he could really be in trouble for. He's ordered lawyers off of billboards for personal injury to fight a federal espionage case. I don't think he'll go to jail still, but it's still like, it's more serious than anything he's ever faced. Ron DeSantis, okay, you guys have actually heard him talk, right?
It's just for the first time.
Holy shit.
He has like a high kind of squeaky voice.
You have people like Fauci saying that his lockdowns didn't cause any permanent damage to any young kids. I got news for you, it did, and we are going to reap those rewards across the whole country.
He is, let's just say you yearn for the rugged masculinity of Jared Kushner after he got 90% of his throat taken out. What do you even do if you're Ron DeSantis? Check out my wife. Isn't she pretty? That's the only thing I could think of doing. They're a little fucked. And, a lot can, just like the midterms, we said a lot can change in 6 or 7 months. Look, a lot can change in 2 years. But I think if they do really fucking bad in the House, I'm comfortable saying I think they lose seats in the Senate. Let's say they don't win a majority in the House. How badly do they rip each other apart? Because it's already a bunch of people that fucking hate each other.
Well, do you think that they will, in the event that occurs, do you think that they will rein back in the libs of TikTok campaign strategy, or just double down on it? Because I think the latter is more likely. I think it's very hard to imagine the Republican Party sort of moderating itself at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, like every fucking time, right? That they eat shit for the past since 2008. They're like, we're starting a new Republican Party. We're putting Michael Steele in there, so we're not all scary. And then within a year, they're like, let's make it so there's a zoo for gay people, so children can learn what not to do.
Well, do you want to get into the Trump inquiry about espionage? Because apparently, there's an article in the New York Times that says headline is "Classified Material on Human Intelligence Sources Help Trigger Alarm." Now, you read this article, and like many of these articles, it's very hard to suss out like what actually it happened or what he's being accused of. But it seems to me that they are framing this in a way to imply, or perhaps even, they might have the goods on this, to imply that the classified intelligence documents that he took or declassified at Mar-a-Lago related to human intelligence sources overseas. And the implication being that he was holding on to them to like sell them to foreign adversaries. And they also do this weird thing of noting this like sharp uptick in the number of human intelligence sources that have been fucking, let's just say, neutralized over the last 2 years. So what do you think is going on here? Do you think that like this is, they're still at it and they have like, this is the strongest bullet they have yet to take down Trump or set him up or whatever. I mean, do you credit the idea that he was going to literally sell undercover operatives to like China or Saudi Arabia or like Turkey or who the fuck knows?
I don't think so. I don't.
No.
I think this is probably all bullshit. It kind of reminds me of the Russian bounties in Afghanistan.
Yes.
Like they've got, because they have him on this thing, right? They've got him, but they have him the way that they got Al Capone. You know, they got him on tax evasion, and it's like that's fine because it's it's a case that you can prosecute successfully, and that's all you need. But I mean, you don't really like when you prosecute a guy like Capone, you don't have to convince people, right? That this like in the court of public opinion, that these charges are worth pursuing. If they're going to pursue these, they have to have a narrative around it that makes this like a big deal and not just a clerical fuck up. And that has to be he's had the secret names, and then all of our agents got killed. Like that's a thing that these people imagine that they can sell to relatively uncommitted voters, like people who like Trump personality wise, and they don't like the Democrats maybe, but they also have it, like Paul Sorvino in The Rocketeer when he finds out that he's actually a Nazi. Like, look, I may be a freaking criminal, but I'm a criminal in the United States of America. And then they start shooting at the Nazis. I think that's what they fantasize will happen with this angle on it. That's just, it's high. It's so beyond what anything else he's ever done. Like he used the fucking presidency to get people to stay at his hotel. That's the level of complexity and ambition that went into his fucking scamming when he became the president. He was charging the Air Force to use his golf course.
Yeah, no, he was Trump's type of scheme is like being like, okay, let's get the Department of Energy to exclusively buy McDonald's for a year for all their food, and then when they don't eat it, they have to send it to me, and then I have McDonald's forever. Yeah, well, all his schemes never went beyond like $50,000 at a time, which is the smartest way to do crime. Just tons of noticeable crimes, 10 a month. No one notices, but his imagination is not quite big enough. It reminds me of the Alpha Bank thing too. Remember that when they're like, oh, they send wires to fucking the Caymans, and then they use the SWIFT system, and it's like, do you think Michael Cohen knows what that is? Michael Cohen would light himself on fire if he tried doing a wire transfer.
I will say this though, if it turns out that Kushner, I'd say it would be Kushner and not Trump, arranged for nuclear secrets to go to Saudi Arabia, like has been speculated, then maybe he actually did sell the names of second CIA agents. But it would have been, as I said, it would have been Kushner, not Trump.
Yeah, and I think Felix, I think you've sort of gelled around what I think is my feelings on this, which is like I certainly not put it past Trump or anyone in his inner circle to be morally opposed to selling the names of undercover CIA agents and informants in foreign hostile countries to their governments in exchange for money. And what's more than that, I actually morally credit them with doing that, because I think all of our spies and snakes, it's time to cut the grass, folks. Mm-hmm. It's time to cut the grass. But that being said, I think you're right that like it doesn't, at least in my feeling of this, it doesn't feel like the kind of penny ante bullshit that Trump usually gets up to.
You can't see him doing it. The most important, it's not going to juice any voters that you wouldn't quite have gotten before, right? No one thinks that. Matt is completely right on that. The most important thing politically, the most important thing electorally, in the horse race sense, is that it gums up the works. It's kind of hard to do your usual routine. It's kind of hard to go on stage for 7 hours and let's just say, go through every song on Madman Across the Water, as he likes to do. While you are actually fighting a federal case that could potentially send you to prison. I don't think it will, but he's got to pay attention. This is the type of thing that will actually take time and energy and resources away from him. It will make him harder. It will make it harder for him to do his thing. And it leaves DeSantis in this sort of no man's land where he's not quite, Trump isn't quite out, but he's at greatly diminished powers, but not quite enough where you can just push him over. If DeSantis sprung up now, he would, Dan Bongino would a suicide attack him.
I mean, knowing my recent record on predictions here on the show, I guarantee you, like an hour after we put out this episode, they're going to release security footage of fucking Jared dangling into the fucking safe, into the vault to get the knock list. Because I mean, Trump wouldn't do that himself.
No.
Well, no. Remember the scene where Cruz has to catch his sweat as it beads up off the glass. As soon as they put Trump in the harness and like lowered him into the thing, it would just rain on the floor. It would just be it would be burger juice just falling off of him. The alarm would have been tripped. Then the knock list would have been safe. But you get Jared in there, he's very skinny, very spry. Hey, you think he's going to live forever? He doesn't have sweat glands. He sort of sweats through his mouth like a dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Jared, there's a conceivable, I'm just saying, like, it's conceivable. I don't think it's likely, but it's conceivable that Jared stole the knock list and sold it to Max on the bullet train between London and Paris.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, no, I am so interested to see how it plays out because look, like we said, I feel like we have a pretty good record during the Trump years of predicting what would be nothing, right?
Just so long as it doesn't come to will Russia invade Ukraine. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, look, if you really want to put an asterisk on that, have a perfect record, you can just become one of those Americans who's really into Russia. Just go. It's always been Russia. How can they invade their own place? It's like saying America invaded North Dakota. If you want to go down that path, but this is more expertise, right? I consider us experts on this type of stupid horse race bullshit.
Hold on, I just want to just read a little bit from the New York Times article here. It says, CIA espionage operations inside numerous hostile countries have been compromised in recent years, and the governments of those countries have arrested, jailed, and even killed the agency's sources. Last year, a top-secret memo sent to every CIA station around the world warned about troubling numbers of informants being captured or killed, a stark reminder of how important human source networks are to the basic functions of the spy agency. During the early part of the last decade, the Chinese government dismantled the CIA's network of sources within China, crippling the agency's spying operations in the country for years. Source networks in Iran and Pakistan have also been compromised, prompting the agency to ask its case officers and analysts to redouble the efforts to protect the identities of spies and informants. Okay, so like, whether this is related to Trump literally betraying assets in hostile countries for money, if you look at Trump's tenure during presidency, there was an X% increase in the spike of informants and undercover spies that have been getting killed or arrested by foreign countries. You can make him look pretty bad. That being said, during this same time, all of these fucking case officers and fucking station chiefs were bitching about getting fucking Havana syndrome, being like, "Oh, my tummy hurts. I have a headache." So, I mean, like, you can't tell me that like this is unrelated to the fact that oh shit, we that Iranian nuclear scientist that was going to flip for us, we just texted him from the wrong phone number and now he's disappeared. Oops. Oh no. Oh, my tummy. Oh, please give me money for healthcare.
Maybe these CIA agents' health problems come from repressing the horrible guilt of seeing all of their fucking agents murdered in front of them because they were too busy talking about their dang feelings in a chat room to help them get pulled out of a situation where they'd been compromised. And now they get this perfect alibi. My tummy hurts because of Havana syndrome, and we lost those agents because Trump leaked the names. Perfect. Get out of jail free card. CIA, you love it. They always have every angle covered.
I think it's amazing that they got over burnout syndrome, PTSD from taking standardized tests, all that, to finally put something together against him. Look, I don't think it's good. I don't think if we're taking a principled stand, I don't think it's good for unelected bureaucrats of, yes, the deep state to go, hey, you're not president anymore. It's never good, right?
No.
But as somebody who is into the sport of all this, it's hey, you finally got one.
Right.
You know?
And I'm sorry, this is the way it works. I mean, we all want something different and we are all struggling and flailing to try to find some way to express that desire for something different. But, this is not the first time that a president has been neutralized by forces in the government. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's like this way, everywhere. We love talking about, especially now, we love talking about how every problem every horrible quality of life problem that the UK is experiencing, the hell they will experience this winter, it coincides perfectly with the things that Jeremy Corbyn actually wanted to do. Yet, what would have it been like if Jeremy Corbyn had been PM? He would have been killed by MI5 by now. You know,
Yeah.
This is unfortunately how these things go. It is how these things go until, you, I guess, do a big DBT session with every intelligence agent in the West.
What's DBT again?
Dialectical behavioral therapy, where they will learn to no longer become overwhelmed by their emotions.
I thought it was a Dragon Ball kind of thing. I thought it was like Dragon Ball Z.
Well, that was the other thing I meant, that you would get all the Dragon Balls and you bring Frank Church back to life. And it's like, oh, we're going to do the hearings now again.
All right. All right. Let's do a couple quick hits to round out the show. So I'm opening this up to the panel. In international news, the Finnish Prime Minister, harmless partying or shameless tart eating? Eleanor Clift, go.
Who is Bang's girl? We all want to know. You know what I'm talking about?
Who's Bang?
Oh yeah, there's one of the women in the party video that leaked has like bangs.
Oh, okay.
Felix is smitten with her.
Yeah, you like it?
I think she's beautiful, and no one's told me who she is.
Well,
what I want to know is she the fake ass friend who fucking leaked this shit? Because that's the real story. Somebody is not a real friend.
Here's a question I want to know: is being Prime Minister of Finland that hard?
No,
seems like it's like that's a 20-hour a week job max.
Yeah.
No, yeah. It seems more difficult to be a city councilor in Cleveland.
I mean, look, they just joined NATO. I mean, like, dude, it's just outsource it from there. You know, you're in the club now. Go party.
Just party.
That's
what the Prime Minister should be, just in charge of curating a vibe.
Okay, well, so I'm so the New York Times here. It says last fall, Prime Minister Sanna Marin, Finland, a 36-year-old leather jacket wearing regular at rock festivals, vowed that she wanted to live like any person my age and shake up the highest office in the government. A year later, she has done just that. Ms. Marin guided her country through the pandemic with one of Europe's lowest death rates, then traveled to Sweden in her trademark leather jacket to win support for a momentous bid to join NATO in the face of Russian aggression in Ukraine. Her popularity rating is near a record high, but right now nobody is talking about any of that. Video leaked last week of Ms. Marin dancing boisterously at a party have spiraled into a noisy national drama that has split the usually placid nation of 5.5 million between those clamoring for her resignation and those cheering her on. Okay, yeah, it's a nation with less people than the island of Manhattan. I think she can wear a leather jacket and have fun with her bangs friends. But here, look, I'm offering a little bit of crisis management to PM Marin. I think the thing she needs to do is lean into it by going on whatever the Finnish version of Saturday Night Live is, like Helsinki Funny Time, and just sort of like appear as a cameo as herself, just sort of making fun of herself. Or even better, Saturday Night Live, they could do a parody where like the real PM Marin shows up to confront the fake PM played by Sarah Squirm, who's like at a party, I don't know, like pulling a tampon out or, squeezing zits off her face or so. We love Sarah, but I think she could do I think Sarah Squirm could do a great, like PM, Sanna Marin character. And then the real Sanna Marin could show up on the set, in the sketch and just poke a little bit of lighthearted fun at herself. And I think that would totally diffuse, the furor over this.
I consider myself an expert on Finnish politics, and PM Marin's, her troubles started, we said we have a special insight on this. Her troubles actually started, and the partying started when she was on a bender and took a picture next to the Finnish star of infamous Finnish comedian Reikin Havelnak, who is notorious for shaking 37 women's hands, and said, "Hey, libs, try to take away this star. Try to take away this monument." And it's just all been downhill from there. One thing she can do is go on her husband Mark Maron's podcast and cry.
So I have no idea if any regular person in Finland cares about this at all, because I have no access to Finnish public opinion. My suspicion is it's probably not that big of a deal to regular people, but it's certainly a big deal to the political class and media people who are very horrified. And I'm assuming it's because everyone in the videos is a consenting adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
It was
that is
just-
not how prime ministers are supposed to unwind.
I mean, I was a little
Supposed to be in
surprised.
private, preferably some sort of pentagram shaped chamber. There should be robes.
Yeah. No, the wildest thing that she's doing is like they're doing a no tongue kiss girl on girl.
Yeah.
Okay. You know? Oh, wow. Have you guys seen the picture of her with Zelensky?
yeah.
Manlit city.
God damn. That is not.
How are you going to die for a manlit prime minister? What is going on?
Yeah.
President.
Jesus Christ. She's not even wearing like heels or anything.
Yeah.
You know? She's presumably wearing the free run shoes that all women love. They're like walking on a cloud.
I mean,
he has very narrow shoulders. I just want to point out. If you're still looking for someone to root for in that war.
I guess maybe the quick peck among friends, among two girlfriends could maybe bump the video up to PG-13 rating, but like for the most part, it was just a bunch of friends partying, having a good time. I didn't see any lines of coke out. I didn't see any nipples. You know, this was just fun among friends. I can't see why this is a problem here, but like I said, being PM of Finland, probably not that hard of a job, but still, everyone needs to blow off some steam. But, you know, Sarah Squirm, if you're listening, I think PM Santa Marin, that could be a great character for you. Get the real one on SNL. I think it'll diffuse the whole thing. I think a good time will be had by all.
Let's see how many Finland population. I want to finally figure this out. I feel like it's like 78,000 people.
No, I just said the New York Times 5.5 million people. That's the population
of Jesus
Finland.
Fucking more people lived in my building in Manhattan. Why? Yeah, everyone is up in arms and they're like, she's going to be too drunk to do the winter war again. It's going to be fine. Like, calm down.
All right. Next quick hit for the lightning round here. Sydney Sweeney, star of Euphoria. Is this a case of the sins of the father, or should we not bother? As she's not going to fuck you, bro.
Yeah. So it turns out it wasn't even her parents. Sydney Sweeney was at her mom's 60th birthday basharoonie, and one of her mom's friends, wouldn't you know it? It's always one of your mom's friends. They're the most annoying people in the world.
Yeah.
If you're one of my mom's friends and listening, not you specifically, wouldn't you know it? One of her mom's friends wore a Blue Lives Matter shirt, a thin blue line shirt. And everyone's like, Sydney Sweeney's parents, are they escaped Nazis who were cryogenically frozen in 1946? Maybe.
I see our boy, our delightful boy Stavi baby is going through it over this. Going through it. He's been canceled, folks. Stavi has been compromised, canceled to a permanent end because he said any blonde-haired chick with big boobs who works on classic cars, as chances are she's got Republican parents. But I gotta say, this is a big W for everyone, all the normal good people out there who have decent, loving parents who just vote Democrat. I mean, come on. There's
the good party. The party that makes you a good person if you vote for it.
Yeah. So, like, I got to say, if you have any family member that votes Republican, either call them out or just die with them. Because, you know, letting their racism and fascism and letting that go unchecked in your own home. I mean, if you're willing to put up with that at Thanksgiving, what are you willing to put up with at the ballot box? Whereas good people like me, whose parents have only ever voted Democrat their entire life, you are in the clear. You are 100% safe here. Enjoy family gatherings and parties. Enjoy your parents' friends. Any T-shirt worn by, I mean, my parents' friends, they don't even wear T-shirts. They're old as shit. Yeah. So, I feel totally confident here as a Democratic parent, however, that, you know, audit all the party photos, all the T-shirt pics. I'm totally good. We're in the clear here. So if you got Democratic family, just breathe easy. But if you got even one Republican family member, you're either with us or you're either against them or you're with us. Decide now, because you can't be on a TV show if that's the case.
Not on my television.
I have a confession to make. I feel like I should get ahead of this story. In 1980, my dad did vote for John Anderson.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That was as good as voting for Reagan. Holy shit.
He's the only guy who's voted for both John Anderson and Angela Davis.
Well, we should fucking kill this guy.
Well, what was it called when they put Rodrigo Borgia on trial after his death? It's a Latin name for that. Yeah, we can do that. We just need to get ahead of this one before we don't want to get ahead of the PR people, but we are making Euphoria 2.
Yep.
Yeah, they're in community
No
college
problematic cast members.
Yes.
Well,
We just signed Ezra Miller for the lead. We're very excited.
Yeah. Everyone in Euphoria 2, David Geffen was there when they were born. It's a pure Democratic cast.
did you see they did bring Ezra Miller to heel though? They brought the Warner Brothers execs. They had some emergency meetings with him and his agent, and everything is fine now. The DC the Flash movie, it's coming out. They weren't going to eat $250 million on that just because he kidnapped some children and waved a gun around and threatened probably 6,000 people with death, face to face over the last couple months. Ezra Miller has not fallen. The DC universe has not fallen. The Flash will be in theaters. So good for them.
Yeah, the guys from Michael Clayton who killed Tom Wilkinson showed up at Ezra Miller's place and are like, "Look, we can't sell this movie if you're running around doing this stuff, being a literal supervillain. We can't sell that movie. But we have to put this movie out here, and there's two ways we can sell it. One is after you've gone forward and said you are very sorry and that you're going to seek treatment, and then we put you away for a while. And another where the movie is your heartbreaking posthumous performance." After you tragically overdosed. That movie we can sell. That movie probably makes the most money of all three options.
Probably.
Yeah.
And it's on the table. You get to pick which one we release.
Do you think that they put him in some type of Magneto prison where he's unable to like call somebody out for using the term gypsy cart? that seems to be where he gets his power from. Like every time he goes on like a spree, it always starts with him having an altercation at like a matcha coffee shop and being like, yeah, he thinks he overhears someone say the term Indian summer, and it powers him up.
He pulled a gun on someone basically for questioning his argument that the Rastafarians invented Parcheesi.
I would like to note, though, Matt, per your sort of, there are three scenarios on the table. You choose what movie gets released. I mean, I simply have to, regard all recent celebrity deaths through this light. Leon Vitali just died, Stanley Kubrick's longtime assistant and collaborator, who was, featured in films such as Barry Lyndon and Eyes Wide Shut. I mean, could he have been working on a movie, Eyes Wide Shut, the sequel, the true story, what this movie is actually about? Will that movie be seeing the light of the day? Does that movie even exist? I don't know, but I am speculating it. Yes, he was 81 years old, but these people have no limits.
These people are sick. Okay, folks.
Paul Sorvino, what did he know?
Perfectly healthy men like that don't just die. Perfectly healthy young men like Paul Sorvino.
Well, I think that about does it for today's show, gentlemen.
Yes.
Until next time.
Bye.
Until next time. We have a very exciting midweek episode.
Yeah. Once again, though, reminder, ChapoTrapHouse.com/live. Please come out and see us. The live shows in the fall are going to be lit. And ChapoTrapHouse.shop for all exciting new merchandise.